Oh.
Go. Greetings to my Canadian comrades and to all the citizens who are celebrating Juno 75, anniversary of the D-Day operations to liberate Normandy and the people of Europe in 1944. My name is Juno Burfield, and I was born in Tunbridge Wells, Kent in England on November the 14th, 1922. When I was just 16, in the August of 1939, I joined 60 other schoolgirls from various parts of England for a 3-week tour of Canada, organised by the Overseas Education League. One small suitcase was permitted and £10 pocket money. We crossed by sea, sailing in the Duchess of York, sadly to be torpedoed and sunk, like so many ships in the Atlantic. On arrival, we boarded a Canadian Pacific Railway train and travelled across Canada, stopping at the major cities for a few days to be shown all the sights. An amazing experience. During the return journey, newspaper announced that war had been declared with Germany. We were all taken to Toronto, where our parents were contacted and given the option of requesting their daughters to sail home to England or stay in the safety of Canada. My parents chose for me to remain in Toronto, and the government very generously offered to look after and educating all of us. I was sent to a boarding school, Branksome Hall. Everyone was wonderfully kind and friendly, and the atmosphere so relaxed, very different from the austere English regime I had been accustomed to. After graduation and a fabulous month at Tallamacoon Camp in Huntsville, Ontario, the inevitable question arose about my immediate future. I was feeling increasingly guilty about not being in England and wanted to do something constructive towards the war effort. It seemed that people of my age went to university, so I sent off for a syllabus to find the shortest course in order to return home qualified in something as soon as possible. Physiotherapy was only 2.5 years, and as I had always been interested in things medical, I swiftly enrolled in the course. In downtown Toronto, there was an active service canteen, which had been opened at the beginning of the war by General Alexander as a respectable place where men in the active forces could gather. Every Saturday evening, a number of girls volunteered to attend and act as their partners, and it was here that I met my lifelong friend, Elizabeth Harpen, who later became a physiotherapy and joined the RCAMC. It is her son, Neil Orford, who is now the program leader of Defining Moments of Canada, June 75. Shortly after qualifying in December 1942, I joined the Royal Canadian Army Medical Corps, and in a few months was standing looking over the railings of a small ship, preparing to set forth for England with the much-needed supplies, nurses, troops and troops. On the quay, a band was playing tunes from Oklahoma, and although I was excited to see my family after all these years, tears were rolling down my cheeks because I was leaving the country. But it looked after me, loved, fed and educated me during these past 40 years. I was filled with love and gratitude as we pulled away from the shore, and I whispered that I shall be back. As we sailed out of the harbour to join the convoy, there was this mass of grey ships as far as the eye could see, loaded with tanks, planes and machinery of every kind, bringing the very lifeblood to a country fighting for its survival. It was indeed a moving sight to be in the middle of this huge armada of ships, and what a debt we owe them. On arrival in the UK, I was posted to a Canadian General Hospital, number 9, in Horsham, Sussex. There were 2 of us who ran the physio department, and we shared a very happy relationship. In the days leading up to June the 6th, 1944, all the roads were full of army vehicles and troops heading for the ports for embarkation to Normandy. No one knew when it was going to be, and the weather was not good and the sea was rough. On the morning of June the 6th, we were wakened by a continual drone of aeroplanes. On removal of the blackout curtains, the sky was revealed to be literally black with planes heading towards the coast to bomb Normandy. There was no doubt that the date had arrived, and it has been forever etched on my mind. I think of the troops pouring off the landing craft and running straight into German fire, crossing the beaches and climbing up the cliffs. What incredible courage. In particular, I recall a corporal in the Regina Rifles who was wounded on landing, no time to fight, and was brought to our hospital that same afternoon, an amazing piece of organisation. One morning, as more of those gallant boys came back to England, having sustained so many injuries on D-Day and the days following, a particular patient was admitted, an officer, Pat Webster, with severe leg and hip gunshot wounds. When sufficiently healed, he invited me to dinner at a local hotel. Afterwards, as we walked back to the hospital, Pat proposed, and I immediately respected. And 4 months later, we were very happily married. We had found each other, and it was as simple as that. And we knew we wanted to spend the rest of our lives together. Following the end of the war, we returned to Canada, and Pat stayed in the army, posted at Camp Borden, Ontario. Tragically, and quite unexpectedly, he died after a heart attack. 4 years later, leaving 2 very small children. I would like to speak briefly about the Canadian Juno Beach, the centre in Courcelles-sur-Mer, where so many Canadians are honoured with bricks. The centre is a wonderful venue, commemorating the service of so many Canadians, and also as a witness to future generations. May the fallen and wounded never be forgotten, and may it never be repeated. My husband, Captain Pat Webster, was with the Essex Scottish Regiment and was wounded in the battle for Caen, and I'm so grateful that he has a brick. As a fellow veteran, I am proud to be remembered there too. The placement of both bricks has been due to our dear friend Neil Orford, who played a tremendous part in organising this project for us. I'm so very grateful to him. It means so much to our family. And finally, I would like to commend the efforts of Defining Moments of Canada, which is commemorating Juno 75 this year with their educational program, videos and personal testimonies of so many Canadian veterans like myself. I have an enduring admiration for all that those veterans gave and suffered, both during the war and many years afterwards. Without their huge contribution, Britain and Europe would not be free today. I've heard authentic words from some of them on the video, and I find it intensely moving. There were indeed very sad times, but cheerful ones too. The camaraderie formed is unique and irreplaceable. Kathleen, our daughter, will be at the ceremony on June the 6th with her two children. How I would love to join them. Thankfully, I'm mentally agile, yet my 96-year-old body doesn't feel sprightly enough to make the journey. I shall be very much with you in spirit. God bless you all.